Greetings, it is I, Tantus Narvan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue our discussion on anime from the winter 2016 season and tell you how to use and give you some suggestions on how to use them in your BESM game. And that's where we're at right now. I'm giving you some suggestions on how to use them in your BESM game. So let's start right off the bat. Schwarzenmarken. So in this one, I would give your characters 175 points as base. This is going to be their base character. And then between 100 to 200 points to design their TSFs. So that's going to be their sort of robot. Now, all of them should be very similar. That's the thing I'm going to have to say. Have everybody design their TSFs under a base sort of archetype that maybe you want to come up with. Just come up with a base design based around what the anime has, and after that, you know, have your players customize them with whatever extra points you think they need to customize them. Whatever kind of weapons or guns or things like that they might have. So you're going to have your players be members of the Black Mark, of course. They're going to be members of the 666 Squad. You can go a couple different routes here. You could just have it that they fight Beta. They can have defensive missions, offensive missions, just missions where they're dealing with Beta. Just deal with that alone. The odds will be probably pretty terrible, nearly overwhelming. It's a very dramatic, deadly kind of anime, so you're going to have to deal with some of the characters might die and might get replaced with other soldiers coming in. On the other hand, you could also deal with some of what happens in the anime. You could deal with the political side. You could deal with the political side without diving into the anime, that they have to deal sometimes with the secret police and things like that. Maybe they do. On the other hand, you could very well mimic the anime and deal with the secret police and eventually end up pushing towards the revolution, the vague revolution that occurs during the anime. So sort of like the revolution against the secret police to sort of liberate the country from them, it happens during the anime. You could lead your storyline to that if you really wanted to. So these are sort of three options of how you can run this game, depending on the style you want to have. You could just have the monster mech fighting kind of thing, or you could bring in as much or as little of the political intrigue. You could bring in a little bit of it. You could go full-blown with mimicking the anime and where it ends up. Up to you. Now the next one I want to talk about, of course, is Ajin. Now for Ajin, I would give your characters 300 points. This is not going to include whatever immortality. Design their immortality yourself based around what the anime has, and give it to all the players. The 300 points is going to be them as a normal character, plus them designing their black shadow. They're going to sort of give an idea of what kind of form it has, physical attack abilities. It's sort of going to be an extension of themselves in a way too, and they should follow the rules of the anime as best they can, but also, you know, they'll have options for how they're going to do things and how it's going to be mimicking it. So of course the players should be Ajin, as we're talking about this. You're going to have them be a team, and how the team reacts to the world itself is going to be completely up to them. They could be a team of Ajin that have decided to work together just to escape from the government. They could be a team that's working together against the government. They could be trying to sort of be in the position that Kei ends up at the end, where he knows that the Ajin that have gone against the government really have to be stopped, you know, that they've gone too far. He sort of realizes that it's going to cause bad effects for his plans and stuff, and so he could be on that end. Or you could just work with the government itself and may have to deal with, you know, avoiding some of those experiments and stuff, you know, that you might have to capture other Ajins in order to not worry about that happening to you. Of course, you could deal with those experiments on some of your characters and see how much trauma you want to bring into your characters or not. Maybe they were captured before, maybe they never were. It's up to them on that end, I would give it, whether they want to build into that trauma of their character. And as I said, all these sort of options are going to depend on what your characters want to do. You're going to basically set them in the world, and once they sort of decide what kind of route they want to take as a group, you're going to follow the storyline to that, and you can mimic the storyline of any of the characters. That's what it really means. You're going to sort of look to the storylines of the different characters. I mean, Kei has a couple of story arcs. You can sort of mimic any of his and come up with your own adventures. You can mimic any of the other groups that are there. There are other Ajins there that you can sort of mimic and follow their storylines a little more, and that's what you're using for your storyline in this game. So of course the last one then I'm going to talk about is Ao no Kanata no for rhythm. For this one, you're going to be members of a team that's doing flying circus. You're going to, of course, be at a school. That's what you're going to plan it is, that they're a school group doing flying circuit. I would give them 150 points. They're going to be a little more skilled than most just because of the nature of this game. A lot of the gear they're going to have is going to be just assigned to them, so they're not going to have to worry about buying that with points. You know, they're going to have their graph shoes. They're going to have their ones that are for flying circuits specifically. And what you'll do is you'll probably deal a little bit with their school life and deal with stuff with, you know, training, maybe club activities, because it will be more like a club, even though it's a school team. I would guess you'd call it more than a club. And then deal with competitions. And of course, since competitions are one character versus one character, you have like NPC teams. And you could have a rival team, which they might compete against multiple times. And you could have just teams of the week if you want to bring in that too. And it would be 1 versus 1, where they're competing using the various maneuvers that they've developed and put in for their character. Because that's what they're going to spend some of their points on, are maneuvers and stuff, and developing them to do with your character. So that's it for today. I've talked about using these 3 animes in your BESM games. I've given some suggestions for it, giving you an idea of what you need to do to use them in your games. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. It shows your support for the channel and the Empire. Shows you that you want to see more work that I do. Please subscribe if you already haven't. We're always looking for more members, more citizens of the Empire. And please share this video. If you know anybody that would learn anything from it, or would just enjoy watching it, please share it with them. And until the next time, I bid you farewell.